In December of this year, Australia is about to introduce world-first laws to stop individuals under the age of 16 from having their own social media accounts, whether it's things like Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, or any of the others.
What I find really interesting about these laws is the onus is placed on the platforms themselves. So the platforms have to take reasonable steps, whatever they may be, to ensure that individuals under 16 aren't able to open and maintain an account on their own platforms.
Now, it's unclear at this stage what reasonable steps will look like. Some critics are concerned that some companies will take this as an opportunity to ask everybody creating an account on their platform to submit their photo ID. Now, while this would be, a really easy way for companies to comply with the new laws, it would also create really vast databases of personal information that's now going to be stored by these companies. And there is some concern that that could be exposed to misuse or cyber attacks.
Yeah, well, over and above the vast databases of personal information that already exist, there have been some other potential solutions that have been raised. So these platforms could use things like AI-based age estimation based on material available to them at the time of signing up. There's been suggestions of using parental verification methods, or even just a binary click this box if you're 16 and over. These methods might, go some way to assist in the prevention of collecting such vast databases of personal information, but it does impact upon the accuracy and it does impact upon the platform's ability to actually comply with the reasonable steps requirement.
Yeah, exactly. And the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner has issued some guidance that any data collected to comply with these laws needs to be handled under really strict rules. So importantly, it can't be used for any purpose other than the intended purpose. Once it's no longer needed by the companies, it needs to be deleted, and it can't be used for things like marketing and advertising. Essentially, they've said that companies need to collect the bare minimum while also complying with the laws.
Yeah, well, it fits within our existing privacy regime. So making sure that the information is only collected for that age verification process. It can't be used for secondary or ulterior purposes like marketing, analytics, that kind of thing, unless you have clear and unambiguous consent from the user. So it's really similar to what we've seen in previous privacy reform. All of these new laws and these new age verification processes will exist within the existing Australian privacy principles. So platforms will still have to show that the data collection is what's necessary, it's accurate, transparently managed, all of the other safeguards that we expect other entities to use when collecting our data.
I think these rules and safeguards are really positive here. The interesting thing here is that parents don't actually have the power to step in here and give their children consent over and above the existing rules and laws. So even if a parent is, confident that they can monitor their child's social media usage, they can't step in and, give that consent to their children to use, whatever social media account.
Well, I think the idea is it's shifting the onus away from the individual and onto the platforms themselves. So making sure that there is some accountability from these social media platforms for the environments that they're creating and cultivating and ultimately profiting.
I think the motivation here is quite clear. So the eSafety Commissioner has recently found that 7 in 10 young Australians have been exposed to content online that they really shouldn't have and that can have really long-lasting negative impacts. So whether it's things like explicit content online or things like cyberbullying and harassment, the government has essentially said that they're not intending to police parents or children. They're really just intending on creating an environment that is safe for children.
Yeah, look, I think that's reflected in the vast penalties that can be imposed if a platform is found to have not acted in compliance with the new laws. So the penalties can be up to around or just under 50 million Australian dollars, which is a massive incentive for the platforms to do the right thing, to ensure they're acting in the best interests of these children and ensuring that they're not going to be exposed to these types of online harm.